Namaste. Yes, the right moment to read another chapter of Swami Anand Arun's book, Lone Seeker, Many Masters. It is the 6th chapter I'm going to read now, and it is dedicated to Ramakrishna Paramhansa. Like, I came in contact with the being of Ramakrishna Paramhansa through Arun's speech and through his discourses he gave at Tapoban or in India when we were traveling together with many other seekers. So please enjoy, and you can sit comfortably or lie down, whatever is comfortable for you, and you can listen and enjoy the presence of Ramakrishna Paramhansa through my voice. Ramakrishna was born on this earth to establish a culture of tolerance and integration. There was a beauty and speciality in his expression of godliness, as he was constantly in tune with divine consciousness. A beautiful picture of Ramakrishna Paramhansa. There is a small village called Kumarkupur, 70 kilometers northwest of Kolkata. In that village, a divine child was born on February 18th, 1836, in the house of a poor Brahmin couple, Khudiram Chattopadhyay and Chandramani Devi. Ramakrishna was not an ordinary child. He had his first experience of samadhi when he was around 9 years old. Ramakrishna was walking by a paddy field. The sky was covered with black clouds, heavy with monsoon. Suddenly a flock of white cranes that were nesting nearby in the wetlands were roused and flew away. It looked as though lightning had flashed across the dark, cloudy sky. The sight was breathtaking. Ramakrishna beheld this beautiful sight and went into a deep trance. He had no awareness of the outside world and fell on the field as if unconscious. His family members were worried and didn't realize that Ramakrishna was experiencing one of the highest states of meditation. After this event, Ramakrishna had such experiences of Bhav Samadhi countless times throughout his life. When he turned 17, Ramakrishna came to Kolkata with his brother. Since he didn't have much interest in either studying or having a vocation, he had been sent to Kolkata, but he had no interest in pursuing a vocation, just to maintain his lifestyle. There was a religious woman named Rani Rasmani, a low-caste woman who was married into an aristocratic family. She was preparing for a pilgrimage to Benares with 100 boats full of goods to donate there. The night before she left, she saw Goddess Kali in a dream. Instead of going to Benares and making donations there, build a temple for me on the bank of the Ganga river. There I shall receive your offering daily, said Kali. She built a beautiful temple at Dakshineshwar, Kolkata, which is known today simply as Dakshineshwar Kali Temple. Traditionally, a priest of any Hindu temple needs to be a Brahmin, but since the temple was built by a low-caste woman, no Brahmin was ready to be the priest of Dakshineshwar. In the end, due to their poverty, Ramakrishna's older brother, Ram Kumar, became the priest of the temple. After initial rituals of consecrating the Kali statue, he started living at Dakshineshwar along with Ramakrishna. After some time, Ramakrishna replaced his brother as the priest of the temple. Rani Rasmani and her brother-in-law, Mathura Babu, had profound love for and trust in Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna was a very intuitive person and didn't follow rituals mechanically. On certain days he would perform puja all day long, and on other days he wouldn't even bother to open the gates of the temple. Sometimes he would taste the food before offering it to the goddess, and sometimes he would even be seen quarreling with her. People were shocked by these seemingly bizarre activities of Ramakrishna and pre-assured Mathura Babu to get rid of him. but Mathura Babu had an unusual trust in Ramakrishna. One day Rani Rasmani asked Ramakrishna to sing a bhajan, a devotional song. Ramakrishna started singing a hymn for Kali. While he was singing, Rasmani started to play with the flowers that were meant for the puja. Ramakrishna couldn't tolerate this unconscious behavior and slapped Rasmani. It was very outrageous to slap Rani, and it could have cost Ramakrishna dearly. Everybody gathered around Rani and pressured her to punish Ramakrishna. They advised her that she should immediately fire him, but she said, "It wasn't Ramakrishna but Kali herself who punished me for my unawareness. His courage speaks for itself. He is a man of God, or else he would never have dared to do so." After that event, Rani Rasmani's devotion towards Ramakrishna became more crystallized, and she started to worship him as a saint. Also, she received lots of complaints about Ramakrishna's ways, as they were very spontaneous and far from that was expected from a traditional priest. A rebellious and authentic person doesn't care much for traditional norms. But ironically, traditions begin once followers start to emulating the ways of a rebel. The way a charismatic person talks and walks becomes the norm as other people copy it, and a new culture is born. There was a new culture after Buddha, which was known as the Buddhist culture. After Mahavir was the Jain culture, and after Krishna came the devotional culture. A new culture is born only after an enlightened master comes on earth. Such awakened ones don't care a bit about the old tradition. The old tradition is for people who don't want change and have no desire for self-transformation. For a normal person, tradition might be necessary to maintain discipline, but when an extraordinary person is born, his consciousness cannot be bound by any outside discipline or rules, because such consciousness is born to bring about a new revolution, new culture, to show the path towards a higher consciousness. Ramakrishna was born on this earth to establish a culture of tolerance and integration. There was a beauty and speciality in his expression of godliness, as he was constantly in tune with divine consciousness. He was the first saint to experience and announce that all religions lead to the same end, God. During his time, there was a great divide between religions, and there was a lack of tolerance among people of different creeds. Each claimed that he was the only true representative of God. During such a time, Ramakrishna Paramhansa, who was born into a poor Brahmin family, also gave birth to the thought that all religions are true and equal in essence. A more modern version of this thought and its practical application can be seen in Osho. He didn't establish his own religion, but explained the divineness, greatness, and religiousness hidden in all religions. There are many instances of mystical events in the life of Ramakrishna Paramhansa. While worshipping Kali one day, he had a strong feeling that if Kali is real, then she should show herself to him. He was overtaken by this feeling and started to cry. His prayer intensified. At one point, the intensity was so much that he took a sword that was hung on the wall of the temple and said to the statue of Kali, "If you don't show yourself today, then I will slash my own throat." And when he actually was about to do it, Kali appeared and stopped him from doing so. This is how he got the first darshan of Kali. That mysterious event changed Ramakrishna's life, as the statue of Kali that was just stone for everyone else came alive to Ramakrishna. It was no more a statue but a goddess herself. After that day, Kali and Ramakrishna had a relationship like that of a mother and son. Whenever in trouble, Ramakrishna would go into the temple and would ask for direction from Kali, just like a son would from his mother. This temple still exists, and millions come and pay homage to the goddess. When we only see a beautiful statue, but for Ramakrishna, she was Durga Bhavani fully manifested. Ramakrishna didn't have to go anywhere to look for a master. Masters would arrive looking for him. When he was 25, one day Brahmani Bhairavi Sattvi came to Dakshineshwar looking for him. She said, "You've been hiding, so I came here looking for you." Bhairavi was a master on the path of Tantra. She initiated him into it, and with her help, Ramakrishna learned the 64 difficult techniques of Tantra and mastered them. By practicing them, he was able to see every woman as Devi or goddess and realized that the feminine force was the original creative force in existence. Subsequently, he regarded every female of this existence as the Mother Divine. After this, Ramakrishna learned the various devotional states from Vaishnava, saint, and devotee of Ram, Chatardari. Chatardari carried with him a statue of Lord Ram as a child and called him Ram Lala. Ram Lala talked with Chatardari and also quarreled with him like a little child. After meeting Ramakrishna, Ram Lala did not want to leave him. For others it was just a statue, but for Ramakrishna it was Ram himself. To be able to have darshan of a god or goddess through a statue is the climax of devotion or bhakti. Only the purest devotees can have such experiences. One day Ramakrishna was overpowered by the devotional feeling of Hanuman, the monkey devotee of Ram. All day and all night he chanted the various names of Ram. He also began to live like monkey, spending most of the time in trees. He would put on a tail and jump around like a monkey. He was in this trance-like state until he had the darshan of Ram and his consort Sita. Such mysterious happenings seem fantastic to us, but for a pure devoted heart, nothing is impossible. After these events, a Vedanti Naga Swami or naked saint called Totaburi Baba came to meet him. He told Ramakrishna he should be initiated into Vedanta. Ramakrishna replied he would go and ask Mother Kali if that was all right. When he asked her, she said, "It's all right. It was I who called him here. He will give you the experience of Samadhi through the path of Vedanta, and you will teach him devotion. This mysterious event has been arranged by me. Go and learn what he has to teach you." Totaburi Baba initiated Ramakrishna and taught him the way to meditate on the state of nothingness. Whenever Ramakrishna meditated on the third eye, he would see the image of Kali. Seeing that he couldn't go beyond the image of Kali, Totaburi Baba said, "When you see her image again, let me know, and then I will do something about it." Ramakrishna sat in meditation. Immediately the image of Kali came to his third eye, and he indicated to Totaburi. Totaburi took a piece of sharp glass and made a cup with it on Ramakrishna's forehead at the third eye. This made Kali disappear from Ramakrishna's meditation. He was then able to experience the ultimate state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It takes life for yogis to reach this state, but Ramakrishna achieved it on the day of his initiation itself. After this, Ramakrishna was in a trance for 3 days, and he remained in uninterrupted meditation, seated in one place. This surprised Totaburi. The rules of wandering monks or paribrajakas does not allow them to stay in one place for more than 3 nights. But due to the deep friendship between Totaburi and Ramakrishna, Totaburi couldn't leave Dakshineshwar for 18 months. When Ramakrishna came out of his samadhi, he started dancing like the most ardent devotee. Totaburi had never seen or heard anyone else with such a combination of meditation and devotion. This is why he found Ramakrishna extremely unique. It was a divine plan that Totaburi stayed at Dakshineshwar for such a long time. While he was there, he experienced a severe bout of cholera. He didn't recover even after medication. He was a yogi who had no attachment to his body. Now the body was weak, he thought it impossible to take care of it anymore and felt it was time to leave his body. He decided he would leave his body by drowning in the Ganga that night. When it was night time, he went to the Ganga. He stepped in and walked around in the water, but couldn't find any place deeper than his waist. Tired and bemused, he met Ramakrishna in the morning and said, "What kind of mystery is this? I can't understand it. I was unable to find a place that could drown me in the Ganga that has the depth of 2 to 3 bamboos. Please go and ask Mother Kali what is the mystery behind this event. Ramakrishna went to Kali and asked her what was behind Thotapuri's experience. Kali answered, Thotapuri has immense ego about his meditation. I had to show him that without my wish, no one can even leave their body. Nothing is possible without my wish. Go and tell him that. When Thotapuri Baba heard this, his ego shattered. He went into the Kali temple for the first time and had the darshan of Kali there. After this event, his health recovered and his spiritual journey ended. Having fulfilled the purpose of being at Dakshineshwar, he left there the same day. Ramakrishna learned Vedanta from him, and he in turn learned devotion from Ramakrishna. In 1866, when Ramakrishna was 30, a Sufi saint by the name of Govinda Rai arrived in Dakshineshwar. Govinda Rai initiated Ramakrishna into Islam, and Ramakrishna started to practice the ways of Islam. In those days, he used to recite a Muslim prayer called Namaz 5 times a day and started to live like a devout Muslim. He didn't even look at a Hindu temple. Ramakrishna's speciality was that whatever he did it totally. This is also the philosophy of Osho. That whatever you do, you should do it with totality or not attempt it at all, because transcendence is possible only through total effort. Ramakrishna achieved the ultimate state possible for a Muslim in just 3 days, and he also had the darshan of Prophet Muhammad. This feat takes a Muslim seeker years of penance. He was able to have self-realization through the path of Islam as well. In 1874, he had a vision of Christ and Madonna while he was sitting in the garden of Dakshineshwar. After a few days, he saw a person with divine grace and beautiful big eyes walking towards him. He realized that the person was Jesus himself. Jesus hugged Ramakrishna and became one with him. As Jesus disappeared, Ramakrishna experienced the peak of love. Ramakrishna experienced God through many paths, and through his life he established the fact that all paths lead to God, but they all need true dedication. These were not mere words from Ramakrishna, but the experience of his life. There is no need to change your religion. What is necessary is to change your mind, he used to say, and this was the crux of his teaching. Having experienced God through all paths and having no more desire left in him, Ramakrishna had the need to share his love. When desire ceases, the same desire becomes compassion. Desire has its own pain, and so does compassion. The first pain is that it wants to get something, and the second is that it wants to share something. There is a pain that wants more happiness, and there is another pain that wants to take away the pain of others. But both are pains. In this world, a worthy man is sad because he cannot fulfill his desire, and a saint is sad because he cannot find anyone with whom he can share his wealth. One day, while Ramakrishna was in a deep meditative trance, his consciousness entered the astral world. He saw many gods and goddesses on both sides of his path. After he went beyond even the astral world of thoughts, he saw the Sapta Rishis in their light form. He then realized these Rishis are higher than the gods of wisdom, detachment, purity, and love. Suddenly his consciousness took the form of a little boy, hugged one of the Rishis from the back and said, "I am taking birth on earth, you should come there too." The Rishi opened his eyes and said, "You go, I will arrive soon." Even before his chief disciple Narendra, Swami Vivekananda, came to him, Ramakrishna had told everyone about him. Whenever someone asked Ramakrishna to explain the Vedanta philosophy, he would be unable to explain it clearly, and he would say, "Wait, Narendra, a disciple of mine, is coming. He will be able to explain this to you." When Ramakrishna saw Vivekananda for the first time, and seeing his introverted, pure, detached eyes, he instantly realized he was one of the same rishis as those from the land of Sapta Rishis. Vivekananda was a logician who did not believe in God. When he came to meet Ramakrishna, he didn't have any trust in him either. Whenever he met a saint, he would ask, "Have you seen God? And the God that you talk of, can you show him to me?" He asked the same question of Ramakrishna, who simply said, I'm seeing God more clearly than I'm seeing you. I meet him every moment and converse with him. Do you want to meet him? I can arrange the meeting right now. And suddenly he touched Vivekananda's chest with his feet. Vivekananda fell into a trance. The friends that had come with Vivekananda were all worried, and Vivekananda was not the sort to fall easily into a trance. He was a skeptical intellectual and well trained in logic and philosophy. The experience was so profound that it exceeded his rational mind. When Vivekananda came out of the trance, he was a totally different man. In the beginning, Vivekananda doubted Ramakrishna, but this experience made him realize that Ramakrishna was a man of truth. Still, Vivekananda did many tests on Ramakrishna. He didn't surrender easily. Vivekananda was the epitome of the doubting intellectual and scientific mind, and Ramakrishna was the manifestation of religiousness, faith, devotion, and simplicity. The meeting of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda is not an ordinary meeting, but a meeting of age differences, of doubt and trust, of science and religion. Vivekananda came full of doubts, and a doubting mind doesn't surrender easily. A Ramakrishna doesn't need to go searching for a Vivekananda. It is a Vivekananda who has to come searching for a Ramakrishna. It is the atheist who has to come and surrender to the one who is in love for God. The one who knows God never has to go and surrender to the atheist. Vivekananda's surrender to Ramakrishna was the surrender of Western science to Eastern mysticism, the surrender of the intellectual to the one with faith. Science has to test religion. If religion is tested scientifically, religion always wins. The so-called religious people are afraid of atheists, but even the atheist is always afraid of the one who has actually experienced God. If there is a religious person like Ramakrishna, then even today science will have to surrender to him. I have seen this in the life of Osho as well. When he went to the West, intellectuals, including Nobel laureates, joined his great movement of meditation and spirituality. Ramakrishna was diagnosed with cancer of the throat 18 months before he died. He was in great physical pain. The obvious question that arises is why such a pure and simple soul suffers so much. Why did a compassionate person like Jesus get crucified at a young age of 33? Why did Raman Maharshi, a person who was only compassionate to others and had no expectations whatsoever from everyone, die of cancer? Buddha died after suffering the pain of eating poisonous mushrooms in Kushinagar. Mahavir died after suffering immensely from cholera for 2 months in Pavapuri. Osho had to leave his body after suffering great pain at the age of 59 due to thallium poisoning. The enlightened ones come to earth out of compassion. Just their presence gives peace to the hearts of others. Why do such extraordinary souls carry such diseases and pain in their bodies? Ramakrishna's last 18 months were spent in utter pain. Ramakrishna also did not understand why he was suffering so much. He asked Mother Kali for the reason behind his suffering. Kali said, "A lot of people come to visit you and most of them are in misery. They only remember saints and God when they are suffering. Seeing them, your heart is filled with immense compassion. Those who come and touch you to relieve themselves from their own pain have committed various sins. You bless them out of compassion, but you have to take their pain in return. This is the reason for your suffering." Ramakrishna left his body as a fully realized soul on the full moon night of August 16, 1886. The touch of the Paramhansa. I grew up listening to the stories of this innocent saint of Dakshineshwar. For me, he was the epitome of devotion, innocence, and purity. Osho had great regard for Ramakrishna and his irrational ways of the heart to approach the divine. About Ramakrishna he was said, "He is mad, but he is superhumanly mad. His behavior is irrational as far as our logic is concerned, but perhaps there is a higher logic according to which his behavior is not irrational. In India, such a man is called a Paramhansa." It is not due to the relationship of just one lifetime that I feel so in tune with this mad mystic Ramakrishna and his disciple Swami Vivekananda. In my previous life, I was born into an aristocratic family in Bengal and had the privilege of visiting his ashram and the opportunity of sitting in his presence. My heart always revered Ramakrishna Paramhansa, but many a times my logical mind could not understand the miracles that happened around him. I had a fascination to know how Ramakrishna could induce Satori to Vivekananda just by touching his forehead. Satori is a great achievement for sadhakas. It is an outcome of great practice, meditation, and self-discipline. One night Ramakrishna appeared in my dream and he touched my forehead. I received a great Shaktipat and an ecstatic current of his energy ran over my whole being. This experience of ecstasy and joy lasted for many days, and even today its faint remembrance thrills me. After this Swapna Darshan of Ramakrishna, I could understand how powerful and transforming a touch of an enlightened master can be. I bow down to the auspicious feet of Ramakrishna Paramhansa for giving me a spoonful of that oceanic experience.